Hey, how's it going, guys? Weyman here. Thank you for coming back to my vlog. Today, I want to talk about invoices. I want to talk about how to create invoices, what they're used for, what the benefits of having them are, and then I'm also going to give you guys a free invoice template that you can download today and start using in your own projects or your own businesses. So if you've never created an invoice, I'm going to show you how to do it. I have a template that I'm going to walk us through here in just a second. If you have created invoices and maybe you know what they're for, you can just go ahead and go to the description section below. There's going to be a download option where you can download this template if you want to use it. It's super clean. It has formulas. Check it out. So what are invoices used for? Invoices are essentially a ledger system for tracking costs and as well as revenues. So whenever you go to work for an entity, for a company or an employer, invoices are used to track the payments that are made to workers or to other businesses if you do a B2B type business. So for the employer, an invoice is used often to track their costs because it's basically a receipt that says I'm paying somebody this much money. So they use an invoice as like as a receipt to track that payment. And then on the other hand, if it's an employee that's invoicing a company, they use it to track their revenue. So employees or individual contractors will keep invoices to track the revenue they've had throughout the year so that when they get to tax time, they have an actual record of how much money they've made, which is super important for tax purposes, right? You never want to get your taxes wrong. And if you are ever audited, invoices are a great way to be able to show what you've spent or what you've earned. Now, the real benefit of invoices is that you can keep them organized to track all of your expenses throughout a period of time, especially with digital invoices, which is what I'm going to be showing you today. You can create a folder in your desktop or in your Google Drive account where you track all of your invoices so that if you ever need to go back and see, how much did I have to pay this employee or how much did I earn from doing this particular job, you can go in there and you can see all of your receipts, which are your invoices. Now, what I like to do with my invoices is I actually create them in PDF format and then I merge them together for my own purposes for like a month-long period or a year-long period. And then I have just one PDF with all of my invoices from throughout the entire year. And I use a software called All About PDF, which I'll put a link to in the description below if you want to check that out. Okay, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and walk you through this invoice template. This is the template that's located in the description section below. So if you like what you see, you can just go ahead and download a blank version of this in the description section. So basically, again, like mentioned earlier, an invoice is essentially a ledger used to track the flow of money. So it can be for a cost that you've incurred as a business, or it can be a revenue you've incurred as a contractor or a worker for a company. So we'll just go through this line by line to give you an understanding of what is included. So at the top left here, this is going to be your business entity or your individual, name, company, whatever. This is the entity that is receiving the funds. So in this case, here's my name and then the blog name that I manage. We are the ones receiving funds because we've provided a service to a company or to an individual. So it's very important to have, the recipient name, the company name, and then usually some sort of contact info or, perhaps a phone number or even an address if you have a physical location. Then down below that, this is the entity that is paying the invoice. So this is the group that is being charged the invoice. In this case, this is just something I made up. This isn't obviously a real client that we've had before, but this is where they would go. It would have a contact name, company name, location, things of that nature. So that's where that section would go. Now, at the top right here, this will be your invoice number. Personally, I don't actually ever change the invoice number. If you have a lot of invoices you go through, it might be smart to track them so that if you ever exported this sheet into like a master doc, or if you use like QuickBooks and want to import the invoices, you can filter them by this number to track which invoice number you're looking at. But because I do a lot of contract one-off work, I never change this. I always just leave it at 1. And then date. This is the date of when you created the invoice. So this was a while ago, but that is when that was created. So moving down here, this is the itemized view of the invoice. So this is where you describe what services you performed, the quantity of them, the amount of the charges, and then this whole sheet has a formula, so it adds it all in the bottom, right? So for example, here, quantity, I did one task in this case where I did this action, provided this service. That's the cost of that one service, and that's the total that this line came out to be. So if I wanted to add another one, let's just say I did the same thing, hypothetically, or let's just say wrote an article, something silly for now. And let's just say I did 2 of those, so I did 2 articles, and the price per article is $250. Then the total would be $500 in that case, right? So you would look at the unit price, multiply it by the quantity, and that would give you your total. In this case, we're just going to clear this out. But this is where you can track if you do multiple services or if you bill for multiple tasks being done on a project. Then down here, this subtotals this entire column. There's also an option for sales tax. So if you do charge tax on your services, you can put a percentage in there and it will automatically calculate it and give you a total, including the tax. Now below that, this is where you put the information about how you'd like to be paid. If you have an email address for PayPal or if you're doing checks. In this case, this was just, the easiest thing to put in there. But this name right here is pulled from this top section. So whatever you put up here, it will get automatically populated down here. And then a quick thank you for your business shout out just down there at the bottom, to seal the deal. And then what I usually do is I just export this into PDF, and I always do best quality. That way it's legible, but a PDF is better, in my opinion, for sending an invoice, because if you send a sheet document or an Excel document, there's a chance they may accidentally, change a number and cause some discrepancies, and then you'll get confused, like, why didn't I get paid, the amount that I was promised? So PDF is usually good. Plus PDFs are, pretty common for sending across digital means, at least. And there's tools out there like All About PDF, which I've included a link to in the section below the video, where you can basically merge, edit, convert PDF documents. So if you need to do that, check that out. But yeah, this is a PDF, and very simple format. There's also a how to use this template section here if you need to kind of read through how it works. But yeah, give this a try. All right, guys, so that's all I have today. If you like what you saw, please subscribe to the channel. Keep an eye out for future videos. If you have any questions, let me know below. Like I mentioned, I have the links to the template invoice, as well as the 2 articles I mentioned in the description section below. Check those out, and I will see you guys next time.